touch with my Marie. She's the only one who phoned me here from Memphis, Tennessee. Her home is on the south side, high up on a ridge, just a half a mile from the Mississippi Bridge. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch.
Welcome back to Talking Elvis. I have a couple of small stories about the racquetball court at Graceland, and I thought the stories are too short to make a video, so I thought I could do a video about the racquetball court today. There was discussion about potentially building a recording studio. In July of 1975, in between tours prior to the upcoming Vegas engagement and in between buying airplanes, Elvis decides that he wants to build a racquetball court. Racquetball was a bit of a craze in the US in the mid-1970s, and Dr. Nick's son, Dean Nicopolis, was apparently a very accomplished player. Elvis started to get into the game and would visit several sites around Memphis. There was one actually that I went to, which is now a shooting range. I don't remember. I think that was actually ended up going to be Presley Center Course. Anyway, in 1975, in July, it's decided that the racquetball court is going to be built, and construction started in October. Elvis spent about $250,000 at the time, which is like 1.5 million now. I'm not sure about you, but I've always had the feeling that it maybe wasn't used all that much. There was a running track originally upstairs on the roof, and on the second floor, which we can't see, or first floor if you're from the UK, there is a jacuzzi, there's a lounge area, and there are lockers and a changing room, a shower as well. Downstairs is quite a bit different now than it was when Elvis was last there. For example, they've moved the piano to be more of a centerpiece. It was originally at the side next to the glass which faces into the racquetball court. The actual playing area, of course, never had a door. That was added later for tours to go through. One of the reasons I wanted to mention the racquetball court or talk about it today is because one of the most exciting things I have ever done, was in 1992 when I attended the RIAA award ceremony at the racquetball court. In fact, I still have my pass. I was at the gate, and I think I was with my friend Ronnie, and Patsy Anderson grabbed me. She was the fans relation manager at the time, and there was something like ABC or CBS, whoever it is that does it. It was Good Morning America. They were doing a broadcast from the front lawn, and she grabbed me and took me to them and said, speak to him, speak to him. So I was interviewed on Good Morning America at the front lawn. Anyway, as a result of this, having this pass and being interviewed, I was taken round to the back of the house where the trailers are. And the original trailers where Billy Smith had lived, and I guess Tish Hendley, the nurse, had a place. I don't remember everybody that was there. Scotty Moore was there, DJ Fontana was there, and I remember being at the trailer with Janelle McComb. So the trailer, getting onto the trailer, being at that part of Graceland was something that's not part of the tour. So that was a real thrill. I am sure I have seen footage of the ceremony. I've been scouring YouTube and the internet in general trying to find it, and I'm sure I must have filmed it. and I just can't find any footage, which is really sad because it was one of the most exciting things that I have ever experienced. It's up there like with the first Elvis in concert with Lisa in 1997. It was really quite something, and you honestly felt like he was in the room. Everywhere went dark, and I was standing at the top, you know, like when you go in the racquetball court, there's the pinball machine and stuff, that area, and standing next to the railing that faces down. And the place was pitch black, and they started playing the theme to 2001. And then they had these white lights going around. And at the end, when the opening vamp, the curtains fell down and all these flashlights went off, and it just bounced off all the gold and platinum records. The event took place on the 12th of August, so it was Elvis week. It was a real spectacle. It was a sight to see. And it remained like that for many years. This all coincided with Elvis being named Artist of the Century. He received 110 gold and platinum records that day, and many were for overseas sales. The racquetball stayed like that for a long time, and it does sadden me somewhat that everything has now been moved across the road to the complex. I feel that when you go to the complex and look at the gold and platinum section, it doesn't really hit you as much as it did when it was in the racquetball court. They've tried to restore it. I think the floor is not original, and certainly the red markings on the floor are not original. But it was a really incredible event to attend. Maybe one day I'll find the video about it. Let's talk about the racquetball court a little bit, because there's a pinball machine, there's a racquetball court, but it's very much like a lounge, chill out area. And one thing that really does impress me is the sound system that is there. I was able to use some photographs that I had taken and also had found on the internet and put them into ChatGPT, and apparently the system is a Crown DC 300, top of the range for 1976. Not an ordinary home hi-fi system. This was really studio quality. This was before the days of digital, and I'm sure that sound system sounds as good as any other analog system that we could find today. There is a AM FM tuner, the DC 300 amplifier, one of the most powerful amplifiers ever made, 150 watts in each channel. There is also a Crown IC 500, which is a pre-amplifier. This isn't something you would pick up at Sears. This was a professional piece of kit. In 2026, something like this would cost you as much as $30,000. Now, where are the speakers? It's often said that the mansion is wired throughout for sound, although it's not always evident where that can be. There are speakers in that racquetball court somewhere. On every tour I have ever taken of Graceland, I'm always trying to find something new or touch a button or do something. And each time I would go to the racquetball court, you'd walk down these stairs, you know, where it has the EP. So the EP is still there, but originally there were hooks where you could hang the rackets. You can see in this photograph from This Is Elvis. I always assumed that that door next to the water drinking fountain was a bathroom, but I never knew. I thought it might just be a closet. One year I went behind the bar. So when you walk inside, there's a bar. and there is a closet, and in that closet is cleaning materials. There's brooms and buckets and things like that in there. I just remember that now. But anyway, I would always walk down these stairs and I would just try the door handle. And of course, it was always locked. Except one year. The security guard, there would only ever be one security guard inside the racquetball court. He very kindly decided that he was just going to sleep. And it's amazing, really. First of all, I don't know how anybody can sleep standing up. And secondly, it was obvious when the door opened and people came walking in that, you know, there were people around. He didn't flinch. I took a photograph of him here. Here he is, having his nap. So what did I do? I tried the door handle again. And what happened? It opened. So you can imagine the shock. You've only got like a split second. What are you going to do? So of course, I didn't put my whole body inside the bathroom. I opened the door. And the first thing I saw was a sink. And it looked just like the sink in the Lisa Marie plane. You know, like with the gold leaf and stuff. And I just kind of like freaked. And I looked and I saw the wall and it almost looked kind of gold and padded. I wish I'd gone to see like where the toilet was. It must have just been there. But anyway, that is something that I managed to do, is open and at least see the sink in the wall. And there was a big mirror. In addition to the gold records, the gold and platinum records on the wall, Graceland would install these video screens, show clips from Aloha and Elvis on tour, and there would be jumpsuits. I'm not sure how many there were quite a lot. And they would rotate them every so often, not that often, but every so often. One other thing happened one year, just at the bottom of the stairs, again, just at the bathroom, at the toilet, there's a light switch. So what did I do? I switched the switch. And what happened when I switched the switch? All the screens went off in the racquetball court. So I had to find a member of staff and go and complain because the screens weren't working. Hilarious. As I said, I never really had the feeling that this was an area that was very well used. He didn't have it that long. It being completed in mid-1976. I mean, he didn't even have it really fully functional for any more than a year. They have taken all the awards and jumpsuits out, as I said, and tried to restore the racquetball court to how it sort of looked when Elvis last saw it. What was always impressive was the there's a viewing gallery. So when you're in the racquetball court and you look up, you can see that there was an area, a viewing area. But upstairs seemed to be pretty plush with lockers, a relaxation room, there's bathrooms, there's a shower, and there's a jacuzzi. But the lounge area itself, if you're sitting with friends, there's a bar, there's the music system. If you're sitting with friends, I think it was a really nice place to chill out. I just have this feeling that maybe the guys used it more than Elvis did. Again, I gave ChatGPT a picture of the piano because it's not like a grand piano, it's just an upright piano, but it looks very modern. And they are suggesting that it is a Yamaha. It very well could be. While the layout of everything is different, because I have seen the stereo also up against the other wall and not where it is standing today. While things have been moved around, I do believe all the furniture and the bench for the piano are all original. There has been some things added, like the mirror. There's a big mirror there which used to be a window. I don't know if that was something that Elvis did or when it was open for tours. There's a partial covered walkway from the front door of the building to the back door of Graceland. And as we know, Elvis left the building on the 16th of August, walking into the jungle room from the door next to the stairs that go up to the sunroof. He was walking in as Lisa Marie was walking out. That would be the last time they saw each other. And it would seem logical to me that Elvis then walked through the jungle room past the kitchen and up the side stairs to his room. And that was it. The piano is famous because it's the last piano Elvis played, singing Unchained Melody and Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain after playing racquetball in the morning of the 16th of August.